What's up, YouTube? It's Rochelle McFly. Today's October 3rd, I think. It's Saturday. It's a nice night out in Philly. Thought we'd do something different today because I'm going to respond to Jaguar Wright because I'm sick of this heifer coming across my YouTube feed. Right now, I'm in her hood, so I like to be official. I'm in her hood. Not her hood, but I'm in Philly. And I'm about to do this. I'm about to come in front of this beautiful mural that I love. I love this mural, guys. They are a talented bunch in Philly. This is just one of the murals you see walking through the hood. How can you not like that? Very talented crop of people in Philadelphia. And again, I'm from New England. We're brother and sister states. For those of you on the West Coast, Midwest, wherever, Philly's like New England's brother, and New York is our big brother. I'm doing this video because Jaguar Wright's getting on my goddamn nerves. She sounds like such a hater. I'm going to sit in front of this old theater here in Philly. They got a lot of old theaters. Very creative people. She, for all the stuff I hear with black people talking about no snitching, she's a bitter snitch. Now, I watched some of them because they keep coming back to back. And part of my parents, guys, I will get this head done next week. But they keep coming back to back to back to back to back. And she's such a fucking hypocrite. She is such a hypocrite. Let's start with, okay, she's talking about Puff Daddy. Let's start with this. She's not saying nothing new. Let me clarify that. Not nothing. From Beyonce's age to Puff's daddy. She ain't telling us nothing new. Beyonce's age, for example. Think back, guys, to 2009, 2010, when YouTube was really YouTube and fucking popping, and there won't you didn't have to buy to watch shit, and people won't asking to donate and all that bullshit. There was a video back in like 2009. It's probably not on here now. Like a lot of them old videos, Illuminati videos and different things ain't up there no more. Where Kelly Rowland says, once a teenager, always a teenager. If you got eyes, you know that Beyonce is around Aaliyah's age and they work the same circuits. She ain't telling us nothing new. It's Hollywood. They're always trying to get you to be younger. That's nothing new. Now, that was just a little preface because that's no shocking news. Beyonce is in her 40s. We know this. This isn't new. Now, her talking about Puff Daddy, Alicia Keys, all these people. Number one, to my knowledge, Alicia Keys was on TV before we knew what a fucking Jaguar Wright was. Alicia Keys is a Cosby kid, number one. She's dragging Alicia Keys and Mary J. Blige through the mud, and I'm good for saying, let me say this. I tell people often, I don't know these people behind the scenes. I get that. I only know their image, and I've watched most of these people's music. I don't know them. She knows them. I got it. But from an outsider looking in, she's a hater. She's a hater. When she was like, oh, I was on the Grammy board and blocked Alicia Keys' Grammy for Jasmine Sullivan. Only niggas that like Jasmine Sullivan and Jaguar Wright and Jill Scott to that is niggas from Philly. When I was back home and Jill Scott first broke, she was okay. Her first album sold out and all that good stuff. She was alright. But I ain't no huge fan of Jill Scott, Jaguar Wright, or Jasmine Sullivan. To me, and Alicia Keys didn't grow on me till her second album. But to me, she's much more talented than every woman I just named. Alicia Keys plays the fucking piano. She has talent. Mary J. Blige as well. Now, back in the early 90s, my mom used to say Mary J. Blige can't sing. But my mom would have been in her 60s now. And Mary J. Blige, if she was shaky when she was a young woman, Mary J. Blige can sing. Jaguar Wright talking that bullshit. But guess what? That same live album you were on, I owned that album a couple times, Jay-Z Unplugged. And you sang Light Heart of the City. I went on the tour where R. Kelly walked off the stage, and I've heard Mary J. Blige and Jay-Z perform that song live. And let me just tell you, Mary J. Blige can sing. Mary J. Blige brought down the New York, damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue, Madison Square Garden. And I didn't see Jaguar Wright. And Jaguar Wright talking about how she's a great performer and she tears up this and that and the other. Bitch, Jay-Z could have put Chrisette Michelle, Kelly Price, or whoever to sing Heart in the City, and it still would have been hot. It wasn't because of you. Everyone she's talked about, I've bought some of their work, except her. Except her. She was always like one of them background singers. Yeah, you made a little money through other people's collaborations. But who are you to talk about these people? You're snitching. You're snitching. Who cares what Puffy did 20 years ago? Who gives a shit if he's gay? I don't care if he keeps it to himself or he tells the world. That's none of your fucking business, you hypocrite. Talking about, she, in one of the videos, she gonna say something. I guess someone was talking about the gay men here in Philadelphia, and this hoe gonna say something, all the Muslims in Philadelphia. Well, bitch, I've been in your hood 10 years, and y'all do have a whole bunch of, as you call Sean Combs, a bunch of honeycombs in your hood, whether they wear the Muslim dress or not. They act like Muslims are above everybody else in this city when they do some of the worst shit in the city. Jaguar Wright comes off as bitter. She's mad because she never blew up to the success she wanted to. And it is snitching when you get all the fruits from something, then you get upset years later. Now you want to air out people. You down with them same contracts they down with. Then when she is dissing the Roots. Motherfucker, if it weren't for the Roots, I wouldn't know who you were. Again, there's a lot of talent here in Philly. The Roots could have picked anybody. Questlove, Black Thought, all them, they could have picked anybody. But see, if you live in Philly long enough, guys, with black women here in Philly, they're a fucking trip. They're a fucking trip. She's talking about who sold what and this and that, who sold their souls and this and that. You can tell that bitch sold her soul. Her and Jill Scott, because they ain't nothing but dirty butts from fucking Philly. Yeah, I can tell now being here, if you see their women here, a lot of them, they take them out of the hood, bring them to Hollywood, clean them up, because Jill Scott, I've seen pictures of her in North Philly before she was Jill Scott, and Hollywood cleaned her up. Jaguar Wright, I don't know what her end goal is, but I'm getting sick of getting these videos. The only person I know that responded to her, and the reason I did this video is because I was watching Talib Kweli today, and he asked something about black women and what we think about this whole thing, and him too. I think all you neo-soul niggas ain't nothing but sellouts. Y'all ain't nothing but the Ben and Jerry hippies of the 60s. That's what y'all are. Neo-soul, huh? Y'all's contracts ain't no different than anybody else, and y'all all a bunch of sellouts. Whenever you see Common doing Gap commercials, it went from the corner to fucking Gap, you know what time it is. And now all y'all trying to get paid. Jaguar Wright, that's what this shit's about. Talking about, I got my gun. And ain't none of them fucking niggas thinking about her. And I don't blame them. If I was Alicia Keys, I wouldn't be thinking about her. She's in here talking about Mary J. Blige. Oh, she's gay. And she's this and she's that. Bitch. There's always been rumors that Mary J. Blige is gay. I don't care if she's gay or not. I like her work. And she keeps, Puffy controls her, this and that. Some of Mary J. Blige's best work was with Puff. Don't get me wrong. But Share My World, Puff was nowhere near it. And that shit was still hot. Mary, Puff was nowhere near it. That shit was still hot. Because Mary J. Blige is talented. Jaguar talking all this bullshit about, she's got a diamond encrusted dog collar on her. Bitch, what, you jealous? Mary J. Blige, if there wasn't a Mary J. Blige, there'd be no Jaguar Wright. There'd be no Faith Evans. Even though I'm going to asterisk that with Faith, because Mary J. Blige and Faith are around the same age. And Faith, I wasn't the biggest fan when she first came out. I thought she sounded a lot like Mary J. Blige. But I give props to Faith too. And whatever went on between Mary J. Blige and Faith, that ain't none of your fucking business, bitch. Only thing I know is I bought a Mary J. Blige album, several of them. I still pay for her music. Faith too. Because I remember in the days you used to love me. I'm going to buy that first Faith thing. She's the first lady of Bad Boy. But I've never bought a Jaguar Wright album. Never bought a Jill Scott album. Never bought a Jasmine Sullivan album. Because Jasmine Sullivan is not a better songwriter, composer, better looking, nowhere near Alicia Keys. Nowhere near. I busted windows out your car. I thought that song was corny as fuck. What real woman gonna run around busting windows out of cars? And women here in Philly, if you ever visit or live here like I have, black women these are the most petty, jealous, insecure, scheming, plotting women I've ever been around in my life. I've been in Philly 10 years, and I don't run with none of these black chicks. I don't hang with them. Because you got to have eyes in the back of your head with a Philly chick. Jaguar Wright, listening to her, how dare her talk about who lies when Philadelphians live on lies, from little things to big. They have this thing here, and I've talked to people from other countries and other states here. Philadelphians have this thing. Like, if you ask them, will you meet me at the corner in 5 minutes? They'll say yes. And instead of saying, no, I have something to go do, they'll let you walk to the corner and will never show up. Shit like that. The women out here lie about their marital status. They lie about their jobs. They just lie to fucking lie. They lie. So I know she's lying. And again, y'all gotta remember, I'm a few years younger than these people. I was born in 80. I done bought these niggas work. I've supported, went to concerts. But I'm not feeling her airing out all the industry secrets, which is no secret. Talking about, well, you're down low in these times, you're just a liar. No, maybe somebody, or maybe they're discreet. Maybe they don't want the world knowing their business. These people that Mary J. Blige, Puffy, all them, they were born in the 60s. They still remember privacy. Maybe they don't want to air out all their shit. Now, Talib Kweli, he addressed her. But Talib Kweli ain't been doing no real work, so I don't even see why he addressed her. Now, I didn't agree with everything Talib Kweli said either, or that slut shaming and all that shit. Slut shaming don't exist. That bonehead from Philly, Amber Rose, started that bullshit because she's a whore. There's no such thing. Sluts should be ashamed of themselves. Talib, Mr. Blackness. But I agree with some of the shit he said, but all you niggas is bought and sold. Each and every one of you. From Jill's, all that neo-soul. Again, you're the Ben and Jerry hippies of the early 2000s. All y'all on the devil's payroll. All of you. And a lot of your fans are on the devil's payroll. Who the fuck does Jaguar think she is? Instead of running your gap, bumping your gums about people, that's nothing. All this over someone not giving you condolences about your dead son. All this. Niggas don't gotta care about your kids. That's another thing about Philly bitches. They think just because they got fucking kids, someone should fucking care. Only one that gotta care about your kids is you and their family. No one has to care about your kids. Who do you think you are? You sound old and bitter. You sound old and bitter. And no, Jaguar Wright was never a big deal. So I was watching the video about Beyonce and her age, to get back to that video. And I was reading comments, and someone had wrote, why are the young people being so mean to 40-year-olds and this and that? Let me tell you why. And Jaguar Wright, I'm sure her kids are like this, because a lot of the young adults are like this in Philly and across the country. Black kids. Jaguar's the type of baby mama, which she probably was back in the late 90s, and mother, like a lot of these bitches born in the 70s. Back in the end of the 90s, early 2000s, it was all about y'all's kids. It was cute when they were disrespectful. It was cute when they were disrespecting the teachers, the elders. Only people they had to respect at 4 and 5, 6 years old was you. Younger than 4 and 5. Now that they're in their early 20s and shit, and they call you old at 40 and different things, which is fair, because at 21, everything's old. I know when I was 21, 25 was over the hill to me. But I digress. It's a different way of thought. A lot of young people are so disrespectful to people at 40 because they weren't taught as little kids to respect their elders. I remember watching bitches like Jaguar and all women like her back 20 years ago. You're worried about your career, you're worried about all this stuff, but you didn't raise your kids. So now, fast forward 20 years, and I get this a lot. I just had to settle a young chick online. See, I don't want to be y'all's age. I don't want to be 20. I'm not jealous of no 20-year-old, none of that. It's y'all's time. The first thing that comes out of a young person's mouth is that, oh, you're old. I like getting old, because a lot of y'all ain't going to get old. Believe that shit. A lot of y'all ain't going to see 40. That's life. And the way you young people have been taught and the way you're living, a lot of y'all ain't going to see 40. But see, people like Jaguar Wright and women like that, they want to be forever fucking 21. I don't. And I know how disrespectful some of these young people are, but I blame people like Jaguar Wright and people her age. Y'all ain't teach them shit. And no, nobody has to give condolences to your dead son. They drop like flies here in Philly. Every time you turn around, a young black man's getting shot in Philly. There's probably a young black man getting shot right now. And no one has to fucking care. No one has to care. Jaguar Wright is a fucking cunt. And I'm getting tired of all her videos coming across my feed. And now she's making me dislike her even more. I did like her because I like her work on that Jay-Z album. But other than that Jay-Z album, I can't name one song from her. Can't name one. And I don't like Jill Scott either and all of that. But I also don't like snitching. And this ain't on some shit you see a crime and tell the police snitching. I don't think that's snitching. I'm talking about you were down for the get down, and when Questlove and Black Thought and Puffy and them were making you money, Mary J. Blige was making you money, because I promise I wouldn't have bought them concert tickets back in '01 if it said your name, Jaguar Wright. I went to see Jay-Z and Mary J. Blige, not you. Not you. You were never that talented, and you're damn sure not that great looking. So who are you to talk about Alicia Keys' Skin, all these other women, what they did? And then guys, before I forget, when she keeps saying protect her women, she couldn't protect her women. Bitch, you a woman. You can be a dyke all you want to, but protect women, that's a man's job. You can barely protect yourself, it seems like. These women don't flip the fuck out. You're not a man. You're not a man. Hell, you talking about Philly, Jaguar, you out in Dallas. You ain't even in your hood. You ain't even helping your hood. And talking about protecting some women like you a dude. You want to protect women, why don't you bring your stank ass to your hood and help these kids in this time, and put some of that money you say you make, put it into some of these hoods so these kids can have extra lessons in this corona time. Come sink some of your money back in here to Philly instead of making fucking videos like you're 15 mad at the goddamn world. And I don't blame Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all this, because they're a different kind of quality of celebrity than her. I wouldn't address your bullshit neither, because you just want some attention. And Talib Kweli, I like you, okay? Always did. But I will not address this nonsense, because Jaguar is trying to reintroduce this story to these young people because she's bitter and she's mad. And she's not making herself look good. And let me say again, she's not saying nothing that we didn't know. I don't care about Puffy's sexual orientation. I don't care about Mary J. Blige's sexual orientation. I care about if they're going to produce good talent, young talent, like someone produced them. And then Andre Harrell, I don't care if that nigga was lining them up and sucking them. It's none of your business. He's one of the biggest deals in black music, bitch. If there was no Andre Harrell, there'd be no Jaguar Wright. There'd be no Roots if it wasn't for Andre Harrell. And somewhat, to some degree, Puffy too. There be no you, Jaguar. But guys, I'm about to roll out because it's late out here. I love the mural. I did this. It just goes to show the time. Jaguar Wright. Look at this, guys. This used to be a theater here in Philly. They have all these old marquees just to show what, not just Philly, the country used to be like. Our entertainment was so high. And this bitch online talking about this or that. Bitch, if you care so much about your hood and black women, black girls and shit like you say, why don't you come buy this theater, bitch? You done made enough money. Remember, you named the Wells Fargo Center 2 or 3 things it was before it was the Wells Fargo Center. You got the money. Why don't you come make a difference instead of sounding like some old bitter grandmom like most of the bitches out here in Philly are. Old bitter grandmoms at 42 years old. But YouTube, I'm out of here. I hope you guys have a good Saturday night. Got me a little PYT I got to call. I'm out.